Hello, hello, hello. My name is Angela Odom, and I am so excited that you are here for another episode of the Better You Leadership Podcast. So go ahead and let your friends know that this is going to be really good. Get you something to write with, right? And get yourself ready. We're going to allow a few more people to come on in, come on in, come on in. It is noon on Tuesday. So, of course, this is Better You Leadership Podcast. It's a live recording of the podcast. And this is episode 13. Today, we are talking about defining the key elements of emotional intelligence. We keep hearing about this term. It's been popularized. It's been talked about, for years, probably like a decade at this point. Emotional intelligence. Hey, Carrie, how you doing from northern Minnesota? Northern Minnesota. I was thinking about that. This is the end of March, and the weather in Minnesota, I would imagine, is still cold. So I am glad you're here. Thank you so much for showing up and participating all these weeks. Really do appreciate you. So again, my name is Angela Odom. I am the founder of the Better You Project brand. I teach women in managerial and supervisory positions how to actually lead themselves and others, and also how to manage processes. Why? Because I want you to earn more respect and more revenue. That's the whole thing. I'm rooting for you. And we are talking today about emotional intelligence. It's not a deep dive into the overall concepts. It's simply the definitions of the four key elements. Now, depending on who you talk to and what you read, there are several elements. We're only going to talk to you about 4 of them today. And with that said, I want to ask the question first of where you are with emotional intelligence. If you are, a master at it and you understand it totally, then just go ahead and put down master at it. I got this. Oh, hey, Mo. What state are you in, Mo? Where are you right now? Good morning. Because I know you are traveling. So what state are you listening and watching from, Mo? Are you, I don't know, you're in Kentucky, you're in Mississippi, you're in Florida. Where are you? And so we should have like one of those things. So where in the world is Miss Jackson? So welcome, everyone. Again, today's topic is define the key elements of emotional intelligence. And we're prepared to just think about why we need to be mindful and why we want to be aware of this concept, right? And I use aware like for real, like intentionally aware, using that word. Okay, Mo, you said you're in, right now you're in Kentucky and you will be in the ATL this weekend. Travel safe, travel safe, travel safe, travel safe. And so let's, again, I'm looking for you to tell me where you are on understanding emotional intelligence. If it's like on a scale of 1 to 10, if it's a scale of 1 to 10 on your knowledge, your ability to apply the concepts of emotional intelligence, where would you rate yourself? Now, if you're listening like live, like right now, then go ahead and, put it in the comments, 1 through 10, and where you are on that scale. Of course, this is subjective. So 1 to 10, being able to, first of all, understand the overall concept of emotional intelligence, and then to be able to apply the elements of emotional intelligence. So a scale of 1 to 10. No, I'll wait. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. Now, if you're watching or listening to this on replay, then do that. Make sure you put a hashtag replay on it. But we're on a scale of 1 to 10 so that, we get an idea of our listeners and where you are on what we are sharing, the concepts. So emotional intelligence is really the capacity to be aware of, the capacity to and control and express one's emotions. And then third is to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. So what is emotional intelligence? It's the capacity to, you want to be aware of, and then you want to be able to control and express your emotions and also handle interpersonal relationships, right? So that's it. That's what it is. That's what it's about. Like our emotions. We're talking about emotional intelligence. So that root word, emotions, to emote, we want to understand that the way we are, the manner in which we are controlling and expressing our emotions actually impact the way we handle interpersonal relationships. Right? That makes sense. That makes sense, right? And so emotional intelligence, and Mo says on a scale of 1 to 10, she's a 7. I love it. Being aware like that, that's good. So really we're talking about 3 skills, at least 3 skills when we're referring to emotional intelligence. And one is just like I just mentioned, emotional awareness. It's really, like the ability to identify and name your emotions. You might be angry or happy or sad. All those, just be able to name it, to identify it yourself. Not someone else pointing out to you, girl, what's wrong with you? You're just kind of moody. No, you being able to actually identify and name your own emotions. And it might come from someone else's perspective. The other, that's one skill. And then the other skill, or second skill, is the ability to harness those emotions and then apply them, when you're thinking and problem solving. So like I'm aware of I'm aware of what's going on with me, right? I'm aware of the emotion at this moment. And now what do I do with that? Can I apply this? Can I still think through this? Can I still, solve a problem? Because I know sometimes I've heard people say I go from 0 to 10, which means they are very angry very quickly, and they are not able or capable of thinking through a situation, understanding the impacts or the effect of their behavior in that moment, right? So that's number 2. And then number 3 is managing those emotions. That's sometimes called adulting. Sometimes it's called being an adult, right? Being able to manage your emotions. Or, sometimes you get people that are upset about something and they want everybody else to know it, and they want everyone else to respond to them or cater to them. When, the facts are, I'm not responsible for your emotions. I'm not responsible for your behavior. So that's what we want to, focus on, is emotional intelligence. And we're going to go through the definitions. And so those 4 attributes, like the main ones that I see, are, starts with self. One is self-awareness, and the other one is self-management. And then the other part of that would be social, and that's social awareness and relationship management. So those 4 key elements or attributes, that's what we want to define today. Self-awareness and social awareness, that, if you look at that as being able to recognize what's going on with you and what's going on with somebody else. And then self-management and relationship management, that is about regulation, right? That is about regulation. So, and I mean, to be able to regulate yourself in the moment, and also to be able to regulate yourself and understand how your actions are going to impact a relationship. So it's like interpersonal skills, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? The way I define it. And so just to be very clear, nobody is like totally self-aware. I don't care what people say, because we're all evolving, we're continually changing, growing. We're continually moving forward. Like you're not the same person you were when you were 16, right? Like you might have thought you knew everything, but you did not. And now that you are 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever it is, you have a different level of awareness just in how the world works, just in social norms. And so there is a difference. So no one is totally self-aware. And we are moving towards becoming more and more actualized, right? And so that's what I wanted to first just focus on, identifying those four key elements. And so when we look at self-awareness, we want to just first think about what our strengths and our weaknesses are, and being able to recognize, traits, behaviors, and feelings that we are experiencing. And then sometimes you got to go back and like, oh my God, that's why I do that. You just take a look. You just take a look to the right or to left to your parents and to your siblings. And they're like, oh, I see. Sometimes you just become aware of, those types of behaviors because they might be learned behaviors. And some of those feelings that you have, they're your feelings. They belong to you. However, the fact that you feel one way or the other does not really impact the way somebody else should or should not feel, if that makes sense to you. So you want to be self-aware of how you feel and know why you feel that way. And, what actions you are going to take and what actions other people are taking. So some of the things you might want to consider, if you don't already keep a journal, then you might want to just keep one, and that it could be, paper, and like I have a journal right here. Let me see. Oh, let me get it. So I have a journal right here, right? And so you might want to keep a, paper journal, or we have so many devices now, so many other options now for journaling. You can do that online also, right? It's got all kind of opportunities. The whole thing is to be able to write it down and reflect. That's all it is. And then you also just want to slow down. Like we have our calendars so packed, we're so busy. That doesn't mean we're really productive, but slow down enough to think about what we're doing and what we're saying to people and how we're impacting other people. I've also, for me, like this whole road rage thing, like I'm like, what bothers me, like the triggers, right? So we're talking about self-awareness and understanding what your triggers are. In the workplace, right? In the workplace, it might simply be in someone that is in my personal space. I'm like, hey, you're like really close to me. I don't really like that. I don't like it. I like at all. For people that I don't know, that I have a relationship with, let me walking all up on me. I don't like that. Right. And then if we're like driving or whatever, there's people bumping their horns at me. I'm like, what was that about? So it's a trigger. So I understand it. I am aware of that. And so I might, if I'm in a, I've got my dress up clothes on going in to present somewhere, that I am totally aware, like in my mind, when people are excited, they want to talk and all that kind of stuff, and they come up, I just sometimes recognize that, and I have to take a deep breath and take one step back. Because I'm like claustrophobic. So understanding your own triggers and being aware of that, you want to do that. So just slow down before you react. Really, that's the whole point. And as far as self-management, just think about a leader who cannot manage themselves, their feelings, their emotions, who is just talking out the side of their neck. Think about that. Do you trust that person? So you want to, know what you value and what you hold accountable, how you hold yourself accountable, basically. And you want to practice being calm and practice, understanding and knowing what triggers you. So as far as managing yourself, right? You just think about that. Being able to manage yourself, you're most likely are going to be able to resolve conflicts more effectively if it's with another individual, or you as the leader, you as a person in the position of power or authority are able to stand more firm when others have conflicts, because you're like, okay, I can see what this is. This is just, people talking past one another or someone being disrespectful, whatever it is. You can quickly analyze what's going on and create some type of resolution. But if you are flying off the handle, then you're really not able to hold anybody else accountable, right? You want to be able to manage your emotions, even when you feel like you're being verbally attacked or you're being challenged, or really sometimes you are incompetent. Let's be clear, you're not good at everything, and so you just want to make sure that you are aware of how you are managing yourself, your own feelings, how you're reacting to others. And then social awareness. Social awareness is the ability to pick up on nonverbal cues. Have you ever been around someone, you like your friend, like you have a friend of yours? Like I have a friend of mine that she is very, what's the word I want to say? She talks about or insinuates sexual stuff all the time. Like when me and her together, might tell a joke, blah, blah, la, 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 la. It's funny. But then when I take her, we're somewhere where other people, different people that don't know her, it's like, read the room, girl, be quiet. Right? And so if you have someone, a friend of yours that is saying inappropriate things in mixed company, then that's kind of awkward. You talk about social social awareness. Or if you are leading a presentation, you are presenting to a group of your coworkers, your peers, and you have started the presentation late, and then people are trying to ask questions, whether it's on Zoom or Teams, or you're in person. Someone is they're seeking clarification. You're being dismissive, or you are simply just flying through the presentation, not looking at verbal cues, or noticing that people then took out their phone, or they're not following you, they're not listening, and you have missed the verbal cues or nonverbal cues. You have been dismissive. And so just looking at that type of environment, being socially aware, right? And then so you want to make sure you understand social awareness. And so someone with a low social awareness, if you're talking about a scale of 1 to 10, someone who is low on the social awareness scale, I just made that up, social awareness scale, right? 1 to 10. Then someone who's on the high end, they might do two different things. Instead of, when we're talking about the meeting, someone who is in a meeting, they might, the person running the meeting might be thinking about what they're going to say as opposed to listening to what is being said. That person might be dismissive of someone else's perspective or their idea because it's not theirs, it's different. They might feel challenged or attacked. So, they're like, no, that's not how that works, right? Being dismissive. So you want to just be aware of the low social awareness scale. And then on the other end of that, high social awareness, that person who is leading the meeting could be a great active listener, right? And you could tell that their mind is already not already made up when you're talking to them, because that person is reacting to what you're saying. They might not necessarily agree with everything you're saying, but they heard you, right? They know that you heard them, and they heard you rather. And so a person can pick up on the way people are yawning, or that kind of thing, and they can change their tone or address things or do things to get the participants engaged in the meeting, right? And so that is a person that actually understands what's going on around them. So just be aware of, I use the word aware again, right? So low social awareness and high social awareness. And so I want to pause real quick and just ask, where are you on, like, if you had a scale of 1 to 10 on the low social awareness end and high social awareness end? And let's just talk, I'm not talking about like in general. If you are hosting a meeting, like, where are you on that scale? And again, this is subjective, right? And it is you grading yourself. And what does that do? That's all about self awareness. This is all about emotional intelligence, right? So I'm asking you where you are on the social awareness scale. And again, I just made that up. I don't think there's like a scale. So, where are you on that scale? So I'm waiting for your comments on that part. And then looking at relationship management, right? You want to be aware of your own emotions and those of others. And really, this is about interpersonal skills. This is about learning how to resolve conflicts, improving your own communication skills, and knowing how to, you might, I don't know if it's the proper way to say it, but get someone told, in private. You want to, bring people in closer and quieter when you are talking about their performance that's not really positive. So you take them to the side. That's a way to do that, right? As far as relationship management, especially when we're talking about people that work for us, right? Or they are on our teammates. We are their direct report. We want to talk to them aside from other people, bring them into the office, keep that low. But then we want to praise them. We're talking about relationship management. We want to praise them. Then we want that to be loud. We want to tell it, say something positive about people in front of other people, right? And we want to be consistent in the way we reward people. So we're looking at relationship management. So those 4 elements, that's what we were talking about today. Those four elements of emotional intelligence. And so we're not diving deep into emotional intelligence. We really want to make sure we are all clear on those 4 elements. And it's a good thing for leaders to, really have a solid understanding of how their emotions and their actions affect people around them, right? And so we all know that. So the better a leader relates and work with others, the more successful he or she might be. I don't want to say will be, but it definitely, if I am more aware of my own emotions and my actions, then I'm able to, actually hit some levers. I can be more directive with someone who is not triggered by me being more directive, right? Because we want to be effective. And then you want to take time to work on your own self-awareness, your self-regulation, your motivation, your empathy, and your social skills. And that is that is what I think would be best for all of us to do. Okay, so Mo says, I think about an 8 or a 9. I try to be very aware when I'm attending something because when I host, I notice others, if that makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And so that's where we are. So today, what we covered, right? What we covered were the 4 key elements of emotional intelligence, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. You see that? Awareness and management for yourself and how you actually interact with others. So interpersonal skills. So that's where we are today. That's what we covered today. Thank you so much for listening and watching to this episode of the Better You Leadership Podcast. My name is Angela Odom. I teach women who are in supervisory and managerial positions how to lead themselves and others, and also how to manage processes. I'm the founder of the Better You Project brand, and I am a very proud Army veteran. And so today we have come to the end. And Carrie, I see you. You just made me smile all over again. Carrie says she's rooting for me. I know. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate you. And so, with that said, I do want to bring to your attention that I've just started a private coaching program. It's become a better you. I'm sorry, I said better you. I love that better you. Become a better leader in 100 days. Become a better leader in 100 days. And I'm working towards ensuring that you know you become much better at being aware of how you impact um, all the people around you, because we all need you, right? The world needs what you have. The world needs your talents, and it's time for all of us to stop undervaluing ourselves, because that's what most women do. We undervalue ourselves. And so here I am, ready to lead you for 100 days. Ooh, I know you're excited also. So with that said, you all have an amazing day, and I'll drop the link for you to establish or set up a application Zoom call with me, and we'll go over the program and see if we're a good fit to work together. All right, take care. My name is Angela Odom. As always, I'm rooting for you.